Commander Elena Reyes stood motionless on the bridge of Earth's Strategic Defense Command, eyes fixed on the orbital map shimmering above. Her jaw tightened as red lights flared into existence, signaling variety ships emerging from hyperspace near Earth's outer colonies. The serene hum of the control room abruptly twisted into tense murmurs and rapid commands. "Commander," Lieutenant Marcus Chen's voice broke urgently, "they're hitting multiple colonies simultaneously. Orion Prime, Terra Nova, and New Dawn are already reporting heavy casualties." Elena nodded grimly, stepping closer to the command table. She studied the holoprojection intensely, tracing each line of attack, calculating strategy against the overwhelming force displayed before her. "They chose our weakest points deliberately," Elena murmured, bitterness lacing her voice. "These aren't just raids, it's psychological warfare." "Incoming transmission from the Variety flagship," Marcus announced suddenly, his voice strained. Elena exhaled slowly, preparing herself. "Patch it through." The holomap shifted, replaced by the image of Supreme Warlord Keyser. He was a monstrous figure, deep violet skin stretched taut over angular cheekbones, cold black eyes brimming with contempt. His armor gleamed, reflecting a crimson-lit interior as though soaked in blood. "Commander Reyes," Keyser said mockingly, each syllable sharp as a blade. "Your settlements fall so swiftly. Perhaps your species should have stayed bound to your primitive Earth." Elena kept her gaze steady, her voice firm yet calm. "Unprovoked aggression won't intimidate us, Keyser. You're attacking civilians, unarmed and defenseless. Where's your honor?" Keyser sneered, dismissing her words with a contemptuous flick of his hand. "Honor? Such a quaint human delusion. The galaxy belongs to those powerful enough to claim it." Elena's eyes narrowed. "Stop this madness now. Retreat before you cross a line that humanity cannot forgive." Keyser leaned forward, a chilling smile spreading across his face. "Your threats are hollow, Commander. Humanity is weak, your so-called civility is your greatest flaw." The screen snapped black. Silence lingered heavily. Marcus swallowed, his voice quiet but urgent. "Commander, Terra Nova reports casualties rising by the second. Orion Prime's planetary defense grid is down." Elena nodded sharply, shifting immediately into command. "Issue evacuation orders to surviving colonists. Redirect all nearby humanitarian vessels. I want every available fleet ready for deployment. Move the 3rd and 7th fleets to shield Orion Prime. Mobilize everything we have." Officers sprang into action around her, the room filling again with purposeful chaos. Elena stood resolutely, her mind racing. She had always prepared for war, hoping never to see it. But now, violence had come directly to humanity's doorstep. "You're hesitating," Admiral Jonas Archer approached quietly, his weathered face grave. "You know we have the weapons to strike back, why hold back now?" She shook her head gently, meeting his eyes firmly. "We are civilized, Admiral. War without restraint makes us no different from them. We will defend fiercely, yes, but not by losing ourselves." Jonas sighed deeply, his voice softened by respect. "Understood, Commander. I just hope restraint doesn't cost us everything." "So do I," Elena whispered, her words a quiet confession. The hours passed, each moment more brutal. Reports arrived continuously, painting a grim reality. Elena maintained composure, balancing compassion with calculated military strategy, organizing rescue missions and countermeasures. Slowly, the human fleets mobilized, stabilizing lines of defense and pushing back variety attacks where they could. But the brutality continued unabated. Elena felt each death, each loss, pulling at her heart. Yet she refused to waver, determined to remain the calm center of humanity's defiance. As midnight approached, Marcus handed Elena another urgent datapad. "Commander, there's an emergency transmission from Terra Nova." She accepted it quickly, opening the feed to a shaky visual. A young officer appeared, soot-covered face etched in panic, fires blazing behind her. "This is Lieutenant Elena Ruiz," the young woman began breathlessly. Her voice shook, eyes wide with fear, yet bravery shone beneath. Terra Nova is falling. Verati infantry are planet-side, hunting survivors. We can't hold. Static burst through. Elena felt her chest tighten as the image flickered. But the young lieutenant forced her voice steady, drawing on hidden courage. Commander Reyes, please, show them humanity is more than just mercy. We fought with honor, don't let our deaths mean nothing. The transmission abruptly cut, plunging the bridge into solemn silence. Elena stood frozen, breathing deeply to master the grief threatening to shatter her composure. She slowly turned toward Marcus, whose eyes reflected the anguish she felt. Commander, the 7th Fleet has arrived at Orion Prime, he said softly. They've stabilized our position, for now. Elena nodded, steadying herself. And Terra Nova? Marcus lowered his gaze. Lost. She exhaled deeply, controlling the surge of fury within. Then honor Lieutenant Ruiz's request. Broadcast to all Verati vessels and across the Alliance frequencies. What message, Commander? Elena straightened, steel returning to her posture. Her voice rang clear, strength hardened by sorrow. Transmit this exactly, we have tolerated your violence long enough. Withdraw immediately. Stop attacking, or we stop pretending to be civilized. Silence spread momentarily before Marcus moved swiftly, relaying her command. Elena watched as her declaration echoed through space, carrying humanity's grim warning to every ear that could hear. Admiral Archer stepped closer, his eyes questioning. Do you really think Keyser will listen? No, Elena replied bitterly, gazing into the starlit darkness outside. But the galaxy needs to understand that humanity's restraint isn't weakness. Our civility has limits. The room's heavy silence spoke volumes as Elena quietly contemplated her own words. The truth echoed harshly within her, sharpening her resolve. Prepare defenses for the inevitable retaliation, she ordered firmly. Mobilize the reserves immediately. As her commands took effect, Elena stood silently, determined yet haunted. This war had chosen them, but humanity would determine how it ended. Civility was their identity, strength their necessity. This was Earth's final warning. Commander Elena Reyes sat alone in her office aboard Earth's Strategic Defense Command Station, staring blankly at the casualty reports glowing on her screen. Terra Nova was a ghost world now, haunted only by memories and ashes. She rubbed tired eyes, feeling the weight of every lost life pressing heavily upon her shoulders. The soft chime of her door broke her solitude. Admiral Archer entered quietly, bearing a resigned expression. Commander, the Galactic Council is demanding an explanation. Ambassador Telmar is waiting on Channel 2. Elena straightened her uniform, masking her exhaustion. Put him through. The holoprojector flickered, revealing Ambassador Telmar, a tall, slender alien from the peace-loving Savari race. His emerald eyes, always serene, betrayed rare anxiety. Commander Reyes, Telmar began gravely. The Council views your recent ultimatum as dangerously provocative. Explain this stance. Elena met his gaze steadily. Ambassador, humanity didn't seek this conflict. The Verati struck our colonies, massacring innocents. We have the right to defend ourselves. Telmar's voice softened, gently probing. But your species vowed never to unleash full military power again. That restraint gained our trust. Elena felt a sharp pang in her chest. That trust was never misplaced. Yet restraint isn't limitless. Civility means little if it leads to extinction. Telmar's eyes narrowed thoughtfully. Commander, you face a moral dilemma that my people once encountered. Violence, even defensive, scars deeply. Elena exhaled slowly, sincerity etched in her expression. I know that. Every decision carries unbearable weight. But if we don't act decisively, the Verati will continue until humanity falls. Telmar paused, his silence thick with contemplation. Then you must show the galaxy you can walk this perilous line. Prove humanity remains civilized, even in war. We'll try, Elena assured softly. But we won't sacrifice our survival. Telmar nodded slowly, the transmission fading into darkness. Admiral Archer stepped forward, sympathy evident. Elena, not everyone will understand our actions. She sighed, voice quiet but resolute. Then they'll have to see firsthand. Hours later, Elena stood before Earth's unified leaders in a crowded war room. Tension hung heavily as she addressed them, voice firm yet compassionate. The Varadi won't stop until we make them, she explained. We possess advanced weaponry capable of pushing them back. But its use means abandoning our promise of peaceful restraint. President Liam Carter, elderly and wise, watched her carefully. Are we prepared for the consequences, Commander? Elena hesitated, honesty threading her words. Prepared? No. Willing to accept them? Yes. Humanity's survival comes first. Carter nodded solemnly. Then you have full authorization. But remember, Commander Reyes, mercy and strength must coexist. The meeting dispersed quickly, leaving Elena with newfound authority and heavier responsibility. She soon found herself aboard the warship Resolute, heading rapidly toward Mars orbit. The station there, Outpost Alpha, was humanity's shield against deeper incursions, now targeted by a massive Varadi fleet gathering ominously on sensors. Captain Mira Ayala greeted Elena warmly, concern lining her youthful face. Commander, enemy ships detected. They're preparing to strike Alpha. Elena eyed the tactical display grimly. Hundreds of Varadi vessels clustered near Mars, poised like predators in darkness. Contact Keyser, Elena ordered. Let's give him one last chance. Moments later, Keyser appeared, his violet face twisted by arrogant disdain. Another meaningless gesture, Commander? Elena kept calm, voice steel-edged yet controlled. Withdraw your forces now. This is humanity's final offer. Keyser laughed cruelly. And deny my warriors victory? You misunderstand, human. I don't fear your threats. Fear isn't necessary, Elena responded sharply. Understanding consequences is. Keyser leaned forward, voice coldly sinister. Then watch as your defiance is crushed beneath Varadi might. The transmission ended abruptly, plunging the bridge into silence. Captain Ayala stepped closer, eyes reflecting cautious concern. Orders, Commander? Defensive formation around Alpha, Elena commanded decisively. Deploy drones and defensive railguns, but hold strategic reserves. We use our full strength only as a last resort. Ayala acknowledged immediately, crew snapping into action with practiced precision. The clash erupted swiftly, a storm of energy bolts illuminating space around Mars. Varadi ships attacked ruthlessly, overwhelming defenders rapidly. Elena watched, chest tightening, as outlying human vessels fell beneath the unrelenting assault. A tactical officer urgently broke through the chaos. Commander, Alpha station shields are collapsing. Elena clenched her fists, heart pounding. Hold positions, protect evacuation corridors. Casualties increasing, Ayala warned softly, her voice trembling slightly. They're overrunning us. Elena's resolve hardened instantly. Enough waiting. Activate the strategic reserves. The bridge hesitated momentarily, then moved swiftly to comply. Humanity's hidden weaponry emerged from shadowed bays, massive railguns and tactical EMP arrays powered up silently, ominously. Elena issued her final instruction clearly, painfully aware of the gravity her words carried. Target enemy flagships. Precision strikes only. No collateral damage. Ayala nodded grimly, relaying the order. Moments later, humanity's restrained fury unfolded. Railguns thundered silently in space, sending concentrated projectiles slicing through enemy hulls effortlessly. EMP pulses detonated sharply, disabling swaths of Varadi vessels instantly. Varadi forces hesitated, stunned by humanity's ruthless efficiency, precision strikes surgically dismantling their advantage. Elena observed grimly, burdened yet resolute. Humanity fought not with rage, but calculated strength. It wasn't revenge, merely self-preservation. Ayala's voice broke through Elena's thoughts urgently. "Commander, enemy fleet retreating." "Hold fire," Elena ordered immediately. "Let them flee." On screen, Varadi ships scattered chaotically, panicked by humanity's unveiled power. Admiral Archer's voice transmitted softly from Earth. "Commander, the Galactic Council witnessed this entire encounter." Elena exhaled, sorrow mingled with relief. "And their reaction?" "They understand now," Archer replied solemnly. "Respect comes with fear, but trust survives only through restraint. You've shown them both today." Elena nodded slowly, heart heavy yet confident. Humanity stood bloodied but intact, proven capable of wielding immense power responsibly. She turned back toward Captain Ayala, voice quiet yet resolute. "Prepare rescue missions immediately. Find every survivor we can." Ayala saluted swiftly, determination brightening her expression. Elena felt renewed pride. Humanity's true strength wasn't merely weapons, but compassion surviving even war's darkest hour. She gazed outward thoughtfully, eyes tracing stars obscured by drifting debris, haunted yet hopeful. Civility's line had been tested, crossed perhaps, but humanity still stood proudly on its edge. That mattered more than victory itself. Commander Elena Reyes stared at the distant wreckage floating silently outside Mars' orbit. Space debris drifted slowly, ruins of a battle won, but hardly a victory to celebrate. Each destroyed vessel was a gravestone, marking the high price of peace. The door behind her hissed open, footsteps echoing softly on the steel floor. Admiral Archer approached cautiously, sensing Elena's troubled mood. "They've retreated," Archer began quietly. "For now, the Varadi are regrouping. Keyser won't accept this defeat lightly." Elena sighed deeply, eyes weary but steady. "We've bought time, nothing more." "Galactic ambassadors are gathering for a summit on Earth," Archer informed gently. "Ambassador Telmar insists you speak. They need to see humanity clearly now." She turned, facing him directly. "Then let's show them who we truly are." Days later, the main council chamber in Geneva buzzed with tension. Hundreds gathered, alien dignitaries, human leaders, anxious faces, expectant eyes. Elena stepped to the podium, uniform crisp, expression solemn. "Esteemed ambassadors," Elena began firmly, voice clear yet humble. "Humanity stands accused of abandoning peace by using our full defensive strength. But I ask you to consider why we fought at all." Ambassador Telmar watched intently, his emerald gaze steady, measuring Elena's words carefully. "We offered patience, restraint, diplomacy," Elena continued passionately. "Yet Varadi aggression continued. We refused surrender because survival cannot coexist with endless tolerance of violence." A murmur rippled through the chamber, skepticism mixing with grudging understanding. "Strength and compassion must live together," she emphasized sharply. "Civilization depends not just on peace, but on having the courage to defend it." Telmar rose calmly, addressing Elena directly. "Commander Reyes, some fear your military capabilities now. Can you guarantee humanity won't misuse this newfound power?" Elena met his gaze resolutely. "Our actions define us, Ambassador. Humanity wields power reluctantly. We fight to live, not conquer. Trust that we have no interest in war's brutality." Telmar paused, contemplating her words. "Then humanity must prove itself one final time. Keyser demands to speak, here and now, directly." The chamber fell silent. Elena steadied herself, nodding firmly. "Allow him." Holographic light shimmered, and Supreme Warlord Keyser materialized, imposing and arrogant. His cold gaze swept across the gathered dignitaries with disdain. "So many races, yet none capable of real strength," Keyser mocked. "Humanity is the only one even worthy of contempt. Your pathetic civility is weakness." Elena stepped forward calmly, voice unwavering. "You misunderstand civility entirely, Keyser. Restraint isn't weakness, it's our greatest strength." Keyser sneered bitterly. "I see no strength, only hesitation and cowardice." She raised her voice clearly, commanding the room's attention. Then listen carefully, Supreme Warlord. Humanity will never surrender. Attack again, and you'll face consequences beyond your imagining. Civilization has limits, and you've crossed ours. Keyser hesitated, eyes narrowing dangerously. Empty threats mean nothing. No threats, Elena said quietly, with iron conviction. Only promises. The hologram vanished abruptly, leaving behind tense silence. Telmar stood, breaking the tension respectfully. Commander Reyes, humanity's resolve is clear. Earth has demonstrated both its power and wisdom. The Council supports you fully. Cheers echoed briefly, tempered by relief, pride mingling with solemn acceptance of the painful costs already paid. Later that evening, Elena stood alone again near the wide observation window. Earth's lights glittered warmly below, cities alive, resilient, enduring. The peace summit had ended, ambassadors departed. Quiet surrounded her once more, comforting yet heavy with reflection. Soft footsteps approached cautiously from behind. She recognized Admiral Archer's steady presence. "You did well today," Archer remarked warmly. "Humanity owes you gratitude." Elena turned slowly, a slight smile appearing despite her exhaustion. The real gratitude belongs to those who gave their lives defending peace. We honor them by safeguarding our future. Archer nodded, eyes distant for a moment. The Verati won't return soon. They understand humanity's strength clearly now. But Keyser isn't finished, Elena replied thoughtfully. He'll return eventually. This struggle isn't over. Perhaps not, Archer agreed. Yet humanity knows itself better now. You've reminded us who we truly are. She sighed deeply, gazing thoughtfully at the stars beyond. War forced us to confront hard truths. Civility is precious, but worthless unless defended. Silence stretched comfortably, neither needing further words. Months passed quietly, humanity rebuilding slowly. Elena oversaw reconstruction personally, visiting scarred colonies, comforting survivors, and assisting recovery efforts. Her compassion solidified humanity's resolve, balancing strength with genuine empathy. Late one evening, Elena received an unexpected private message. Ambassador Telmar sought a personal conversation. Meeting him privately, Elena welcomed Telmar warmly. "Ambassador, I'm honored by your visit." Telmar bowed respectfully, sincerity clear in his expression. "Commander Reyes, I've come to thank you personally. You taught the Council something vital about courage, sacrifice, and strength." She shook her head humbly. "I merely represented humanity honestly." "You did far more," Telmar insisted firmly. "Your people showed that restraint without strength invites tragedy, but strength tempered by restraint is the foundation of true civilization." Elena paused thoughtfully, moved deeply. "Then humanity succeeded. We revealed our truth clearly." Telmar smiled gently. "The Council understands now, civilizations aren't judged by wars they fight, but by how they behave in war's shadow. Humanity has proven itself admirable. Yet our test never ends," Elena reflected quietly. "Peace demands constant vigilance." Telmar nodded knowingly, wisdom resonating in his calm demeanor. "Peace is always fragile, Commander. But your people guard it wisely." They parted warmly, understanding and respect bridging species seamlessly. Late that night, Elena stood once more before Earth's vista, serene lights flickering below. Reflection brought comfort, clarity washing away lingering doubt. Humanity remained flawed, imperfect, burdened by painful lessons. Yet their commitment to civility remained unbroken, reinforced by strength now tempered by wisdom. Admiral Archer approached quietly once again, presence comforting. Elena smiled softly without turning. "Still awake?" Archer asked gently. "Just thinking," she replied thoughtfully. "We paid dearly to reach this point. But we reached it," Archer reminded warmly. "Humanity's courage brought understanding. We won't face the future alone anymore." Elena nodded slowly, quiet strength returning fully. Civilization isn't something you achieve, it's something you continually choose. She turned at last, eyes confident, determined, compassionate. And humanity chooses civilization, Admiral. Now and always. Outside, Earth turned slowly, vibrant and alive, a testament to humanity's enduring strength, resilience, and compassion. A civilization tested, but proudly unbroken. Commander Elena Reyes stood quietly in the shadow of Orion Prime's central plaza, her heart heavy at the sight of ruins that lay before her. Once a vibrant colony brimming with life, Orion Prime was now a landscape of shattered buildings and abandoned streets, whispering softly of lives lost and dreams crushed beneath Virati aggression. "Commander?" Lieutenant Marcus Chen's voice gently pulled Elena from her thoughts. "The survivors are ready for you." She straightened her uniform, steadied her breath, and nodded once. "Lead the way." As they walked toward a makeshift gathering spot, Elena noted survivors huddled near emergency shelters, families clinging together in silent grief, children staring with eyes far too old. Her throat tightened painfully. At the shelter, a young mother approached cautiously, holding a small boy tightly. "Commander Reyes?" Her voice trembled, eyes pleading softly. "Is it safe now? Can we rebuild?" Elena placed a reassuring hand on the woman's shoulder, meeting her eyes with sincerity. "Yes. Orion Prime will rise again. We'll never abandon you." "Thank you," the woman whispered, tears glistening. "We knew you'd come back." Moving deeper into the shelter, Elena's attention shifted to the elderly colonist tending wounded survivors. Dr. Samuel Bennett, colony medic, greeted Elena warmly, though exhaustion weighed heavily on his features. "Commander," Samuel acknowledged quietly. "We appreciate the supplies, but survivors need more than food and medicine. They need hope." She knelt beside him, her voice gentle yet firm. "You're right. The Virati tried to break our spirit, but humanity always heals." Samuel glanced up, determination flickering back into tired eyes. "Then help us rebuild quickly. We want our lives back, not just survival." "You have my promise," Elena responded earnestly. Her communicator buzzed suddenly, Admiral Archer's urgent voice echoed clearly. "Elena, we've intercepted a Virati distress call near Saturn. Keezer's flagship was ambushed by his own commanders. He survived but is now isolated." Surprise briefly crossed Elena's face. His own people betrayed him? Virati warlords see Keezer's defeat at Mars as weakness, Archer explained. They're fighting internally for control. Elena stood quickly. "Send coordinates to the Resolute. We'll intercept Keezer personally." Samuel looked up anxiously. "Will this end the war for good?" "It might," Elena answered, hope cautiously entering her voice. Within hours, Elena stood aboard the bridge of the Resolute, approaching Saturn's rings. Sensors pinpointed Keezer's damaged flagship, drifting silently, shieldless, alone. Captain Mirayala watched carefully. "Commander, Keezer's ship is helpless. We can end this immediately." "No," Elena cautioned softly. "If we destroy him defenseless, we become everything we've fought against. Hail him." Moments later, Keezer appeared on screen, battered, pride wounded deeply. Hatred burned in his dark eyes, mingled oddly with exhaustion. "So," Keezer snarled weakly, "the mighty Commander Reyes comes to finish her victory?" "No," Elena responded calmly, holding his gaze firmly. "We're here to offer peace." Keezer laughed bitterly. "Peace? You humans cling foolishly to dreams of civility. I'd never grant mercy if our roles reversed." Elena leaned forward slightly, voice quiet yet resolute. "Then that is exactly why we must." Surprise briefly replaced Keezer's scorn. "You mock me?" "Never," Elena replied evenly. "Mercy isn't weakness, it's strength. Accept surrender, return peacefully, and your people may yet find dignity again." Keezer hesitated, pride warring visibly against practicality. "They betrayed me. My empire collapses. Why spare my life?" To prove civility matters most when least deserved, Elena answered sincerely. He studied her expression, silence lengthening into tension. Finally, resignation softened his defiance. Then, I surrender. Relief swept Elena quietly. Prepare your vessel. We'll escort you safely. As Keezer's flagship signaled compliance, Captain Ayala approached cautiously. Commander, this may bring peace, but can we trust him? Trust isn't the point, Elena explained patiently. Showing mercy defines who we are, not who he is. Days later, Elena escorted Keezer personally to Earth's Galactic Council headquarters, crowded once again with representatives from numerous worlds. Silence enveloped the chamber heavily as they entered side by side. Ambassador Telmar stepped forward, gaze filled with respect. Commander Reyes, you captured humanity's greatest enemy yet spared him. Explain your reasoning clearly. Elena raised her voice calmly, confident yet humble. We believe mercy strengthens peace. Destroying Keezer wouldn't erase suffering, it would create cycles of endless vengeance. Keezer stood silently, subdued but unbroken, observing Elena thoughtfully. Telmar nodded solemnly, turning toward Keezer. Supreme Warlord, do you understand humanity's gesture? Keezer lowered his eyes momentarily, pride diminished yet dignity intact. I do. Humanity chose mercy when cruelty was justified. They have shown strength my empire never possessed. Murmurs rippled respectfully. Elena stepped closer, offering a quiet, sincere final statement. Civilization demands courage, not only in war, but especially in peace. Telmar raised his hand approvingly. Then let this gesture define a new era. Humanity's actions have reminded us all what true civilization requires. Commander Reyes, we thank you deeply. Applause echoed briefly, sincere but restrained, acknowledgement tempered by losses suffered. Keezer departed quietly, escorted honorably, dignity preserved by Elena's choice. Late that evening, alone in her quarters overlooking Geneva's glittering skyline, Elena felt calmness return gently, healing invisible wounds within. Humanity had endured pain and tragedy yet emerged stronger, wiser, choosing compassion deliberately. A gentle knock broke Elena's reflections. Admiral Archer entered quietly, carrying 2 small glasses. I brought a drink, Archer offered warmly. Peace deserves celebration. She accepted gratefully, smiling softly. We made hard choices. Civility almost shattered. Yet you held it together, Archer insisted quietly. Humanity found itself again, Elena, because you reminded us who we really are. Outside, city lights sparkled peacefully beneath stars softly gleaming, echoes of survivors healing slowly, rebuilding lives courageously. Elena felt peace settling quietly into tired bones, acceptance easing long-held burdens. Humanity will face trials again, Elena admitted thoughtfully, gazing outward. But today, mercy won. And tomorrow? Archer questioned gently. She turned, conviction shining clearly in steady eyes. Tomorrow, we choose mercy again. Humanity had finally found peace, not through power alone, but courage balanced gently by compassion. Elena Reyes, guardian of civility and mercy, quietly vowed humanity would never forget its greatest strength. Outside, beneath quiet stars, Earth lived quietly once more, wounded yet unbroken, civilization gently healing, hope rising brightly again.